Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news and notes mashup video today, starting with Anthony Joshua, who's declared that he's fully rebuilt and feeling confident ahead of his September 21st showdown with Daniel Dubois at Wembley. And he will need to be, with Dubois being the toughest opponent to date since his back-to-back losses to Alexander Usyk a couple of years ago. Since then, he's had multiple wins against the likes of Otto Wallin, Jermaine Franklin, Robert Helenius, and also, most recently, Francis Ngannou. So Joshua, speaking to DAZN ahead of the fight, says, "We started off on a rocky road, coming off a defeat to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Alexander Usyk. He's gone on to be a credible fighter, a credible heavyweight. So coming off 2 defeats to him, you know how it is. You always believe in yourself, but it's hard when people stop believing in you as well. You have a lot of pressure from people saying you're not that same person anymore. So you've got to go back and rebuild. I went through that rebuilding process, and if you're looking at the consistency, and I'm not saying that I've beaten world champion after world champion, but in order to get to the world championships, I've had to take steps, and at each fight has led here. So each fight has been a good progression. From going 12 rounds with Franklin, 7 with Helenius, which was supposed to be Dillian White, down to 5 with Wallin, then to 2 with Ngannou. Who knows what will happen September 21st. So Joshua feeling confident after his rebuild, and he will need to be with the fighter in Dubois that he faces. But good to hear. I mean, he's got to have that mindset and believe in himself. Ben Shalom, the promoter for Boxer with the double X, says that Martin Bakole versus Zhang Zhilei is still the most likely fight to be made for Bakole next, citing that the Saudis want it, and it is the one that is currently in play to be made. It's a cracking fight if it does get made, and it has gone quiet in the last couple of weeks since the Saudis declared they wanted it, so we'll have to see what happens in the next few weeks, if there will be an announcement. Will this be on a card by the end of the year or in early 2025? It is a cracking fight, and I think a lot of boxing fans are excited. And Shalom, in the same interview, went on to say that Bakole has an opportunity to become a huge star in Africa and basically become what Francis Ngannou for MMA has done there, and become so popular and inspired people to really pick up the discipline, that Bakole can basically do the same in the boxing sense. And I think he's right. If Bakole continues to wreck a path in the heavyweight division, it's going to turn some heads and inspire some kids along the way. Kevin Lerena has called out Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson, as we know, lost to Martin Bakole on the August 3rd card in Los Angeles. Kevin Lerena more recently had declared he was potentially going to be seeking out glory at Bridgerweight. But Lerena has cited that he was a name that was in the mix that for Anderson previously, that he was spoken about as an opponent for a fight that ultimately went to Riyad Murhi. And Lerena says he absolutely wants it. We have seen Kevin Lerena on a Saudi card most recently. That was against Justice Hooney. He rocked Hooney late on and almost, caused a bit of an upset. But he also put in a good fight with Daniel Dubois in 2022. Hurt Dubois early, ultimately got stopped. But also, he did beat Riyad Murhi, and Murhi went on to face Anderson. So I think there is something to be said that he could actually go in there, and especially Anderson coming off that loss, he's a good opponent for Anderson and will give him tough rounds. He does have good pop, good punching power, and if he lands on Anderson, who knows what could happen. I think Anderson needs more seasoning against guys that are sort of in that top 15 to top 30 range, guys that will test him, go rounds, give him something, and coming off a loss, I think Kevin Lerena is a perfect opponent. For Lerena, he could see this as a springboard back to a potential big fight in Saudi Arabia, currently rated on BoxRec as the number 24 in the world, and that's probably there or thereabouts where he is. I kind of like that fight. I don't mind that at all. Dave Allen has been confirmed to headline on the 23rd of November, and this will be on an Outlaw Promotions card. Josh Whale here with the announcement on social media saying, exciting announcement alert, our next event on Saturday 23rd November will be headlined by heavyweight The White Rhino. I guess with Dave Allen and this comeback that he's been trying to mount in the last year or two, it's been a bit stop-start, hasn't really gained a lot of momentum and traction, and the big promoters don't really sort of seem to be that open to maybe giving him too many more opportunities. And I think we have to realize as well, with some of the damage that he's taken in recent years, even that fight that he did manage to secure against Fraser Clark didn't look great, bailed out halfway through. Obviously he claimed there was an injury there, so you have to, it is what it is, but this is not the Dave Allen of 2018, 2019, I think, or even a little bit earlier. And the popularity also seems to have waned. So I don't think he's he's going to shift the needle as maybe he did 5 or 6 years ago. But still, good luck to Dave Allen and with this comeback that he's trying to mount for his career. He has sort of spoken about, some of the setbacks in his career and gone into some various things on his YouTube channel that he has started up more recently. A former Dave Allen victim, Nick Webb, he will be contesting the Southern Area title, and this will be against the unbeaten prospect Courtney Bennett. So this is going to be, as you can see here on screen, on a card for Frank Warren, headlined by Sam Gilly taking on Lewis Green. And as it notes here, the vacant Southern Area title will be on the line and in Bethnal Green when the unbeaten Courtney Bennett, 5-0, 2 stoppages, goes up against the experienced campaigner Nick Webb, 17-3 with 13 stoppages over 10 rounds. So not a bad fight for the unbeaten Bennett. It certainly is a step up for him. The opposition that he's faced so far, I think, is below that. Phil Williams, a well-heeled journeyman, and a couple of times that he's fought him. So a step up. Doesn't seem to be a big puncher from what I've seen and the results that he's had so far. As we know, Nick Webb can run a little bit hot and cold, but he has also got a good punch, but a bit of a suspect chin at times. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. And another of Frank Warren's fighters, Moses Utoma, he recently starched Mariusz Wach in a couple of rounds. The 44-year-old Wach was taken out in quick order, and it sort of seems to have ushered him out of the sport. So Wach had indicated he wouldn't be back in the boxing ring, and he's going to be in what I believe is a kickboxing event. So he's been announced as the on the main event for Strike King 3, and this is going to be against Marcin Rozelski. So I thought we might have seen the last of Mariusz Wach in terms of combat, and at 44 years old, and the performance that we recently saw, I don't give him much of a hope in this one, given the performance of late. But what do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.